While I get ready to prep this show up, listen, I want to be very clear to the overlords on watching us on all the social media platforms. This is a breaking news event. As we all know, the Tate Brothers, very controversial influencers, have just been charged. So the words that's going to be saying here, and that will be stated here from authoritative news sources, YouTube, is commentary on a newsworthy event, as this is rather important, as the Tate Brothers have been involved in many debates and been on many TV shows and programs throughout the years, and right now they are facing very serious charges of assault and trafficking, and that's the safest way I could say it. So in these videos that I will be playing, it is important for all the overlords to understand that this is commentary on a newsworthy event.
It is the Crown Prosecution Service clarifying, as they put it, the situation regarding Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan. And they say, we can confirm that we have authorized charges against Andrew and Tristan Tate for offenses including rape, human trafficking, controlling prostitution, and actual bodily harm against 3 women. These charging decisions follow receipt of a file of evidence from Bedfordshire police. A European arrest warrant was issued in England in 2024, and as a result, the Romanian courts then ordered the extradition to the UK of Andrew Tate and his brother. However, says the CPS, domestic criminal matters, which the brothers are also facing in Romania, must be settled first. And then the CPS says, we remind everyone that criminal proceedings are active and that the defendants have a right to a fair trial. But confirmation that the CPS has authorized charges against Andrew Tate and his brother for offenses including rape and human trafficking.
All right, so I want to be very clear on this, folks. Everyone that's watching this, this is rather a serious allegations. Again, look. The Tates are no stranger to controversy, okay? And while it is fascinating to hear their thoughts, especially on the crisis and war in Gaza, it's very clear that they had a history even before the war started, okay? And the Tate brothers, to be clear, everybody that's watching, were very heavily involved in the manosphere red pill community. And look, I get it. In this day and age of the internet, it's important that we all learn about self-love, self-care, and being aware of people who will take advantage of you. And I understand that the human psyche has been, I think, heavily deformed now because of our over-reliance on AI, technology, supercomputers, all that kind of stuff. And in turn, I think it's really done its fair share of damage. But let's address what has been happening here. I want to pull up this article here from the Associated Press so that we are all well aware of what is facing the Tate brothers. The charges were authorized in January last year, but not publicized, though news and media at the time reported on a UK arrest warrant issued against the Tates, dual US and British citizens who moved to Romania in 2016. Now, as we did cover, they were in Florida at the time until the Florida Attorney General, I believe, began also indicating that he was prepping up charges against them as well. The Crown Prosecution Service said that this was the first time it confirmed the 2 have been criminally charged in Britain. Andrew Tate, 38, faces 10 charges related to 3 women that include assault, actual bodily harm, human trafficking, controlling prostitution for gain. Tristan Tate faces 11 charges, basically more or less the same, related to 1 woman that also include assault, human trafficking, and actual bodily harm. Excuse me again. The brothers are both former professional kickboxers who have millions of followers on social media. Andrew is more well known, having drawn a larger following with his unapologetic misogyny that has drawn in boys and young men to the luxurious lifestyle he projects. Everything that you see on social media, Instagram, especially with these large influencers, it's all fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's cardboard, okay? And, you know, I think it's taken a lot of us this long to realize just how fake everything is on the internet, okay? What you see on Instagram, please don't get depressed by it, okay? Because there's always a cost. A lot of these rich influencers are not rich, but in fact, dare I say it, skimming by or projecting that they are. these beautiful people that you see in Dubai, let's say the models, do you really want to know how they got there and who's paying the bill? These people driving these luxury cars, you think they own them or are they renting them just for the time being? Everything is smoke and mirrors, and I get it. Everyone wants to be the top dog. Sometimes that game isn't worth it. And in turn, this is how a lot of communities, both men and women, get taken advantage of. Because you look at these titans, these influencers, and in turn, you think that, oh, that could be me. Just be you. You are you. You're the only person you need to be. So just remember that, okay? Just want to throw that in there. Now, back to the serious stuff. A spokesperson for the two had no immediate comment when reached by the Associated Press. But Andrew Tate commented on the BBC's story on the charges on the X social media platform. They do this to any man who fights against them, Tate said, referring to the government. Never give up, men. Never give in. Don't be scared. The Tates were arrested in Romania in late 2022 and formally indicted last year on charges that they participated in a criminal ring that lured women there where they were allegedly exploited. Andrew Tate also was charged with assault. They have denied all the allegations in Romania. Romanian courts have issued an order to extradite the two to the UK once their court case is concluded there, British prosecutors said. The warrant issued by Bedfordshire police last year for the sibling dates back to allegations between 2012 and 2015. The whereabouts of the brothers was not immediately clear. They were photographed a week outside a police station in Voluntaria, Romania, where they have to report regularly while facing charges there. Just remember, it wasn't too long ago they were in the USA. Now, all of this, I also want to pull up your article from the BBC, from the U.S. back to Romania. So just real quick here, they were many people wondering, okay, well, if they're in Romania, why are they back in Romania? So according to the brothers' legal representatives, the UK allegations date back to between 2012 and 2015. At the time of the arrest warrant, the Tate said they were categorically reject all charges and were very innocent men. A Romanian court ruled that they could be extradited to the UK once the separate proceedings against them in Romania is concluded. They were then released from custody. Prosecutors unexpectedly lifted a 2-year travel ban earlier this year, after which the brothers traveled from Romania to the U.S. state of Florida by private jet in February 2025. They returned to Romania in March 2025, telling reporters innocent men don't run from anything. The brothers say they registered with the local authorities in Romania, in a legal formality to demonstrate their compliance along with an ongoing criminal investigation. Andrew did not say whether he would remain in Romania, but vowed to clear his name there and in the United Kingdom. So look, the next video I'm going to be playing, this is from Hotspot. Shout out to them. But you know, they got a long uphill battle, in my opinion. And while this is a very uncomfortable story to talk about, remember, the Tate brothers have had a history, and they have the internet there. So basically, more or less, say, you know, or they have the history of them saying, you know, how they view women and how they run their business. Now, innocent until proven guilty, but all right, here we go.
I was all about trying to get paid. Like my whole, I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house to make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer,
yeah,
playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far.
But the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. We need to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women.
Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything, because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. And they're stupid.
When you're pimping bitches like me, it's a full-time job. So yeah, on corporatetape.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm.
All right, enough of that. That's like 4 minutes of that. Hotspot. I don't know how you stomach that, but okay. All right. So they got a history, okay, and you know, a lot of people like the Tates do know a lot of influential media and political figures. Whether or not they are victorious in both their cases in Romania and the United Kingdom is yet to be seen. Clearly, their own words can be used against them, depending on how strong their legal defense will be. But now they're facing more charges now in the United Kingdom. So what's the big takeaway here? What is the huge takeaway? Well, in this day and age of the influencer, the social media personality, this should serve as a warning to anyone who wants to enter into this space or thinking that there are no repercussions. You know, the internet, yes, in some areas is still the Wild West. But it's also important for all of you, my viewers, to know and be safe out there, because it's more than just the Tate brothers. There's a lot of people out there. Okay. And look, you heard what they were saying, and how they run their business. Okay. And protect yourselves. This goes to men and women, especially to younger generations. You have to be careful out there on what seems luxurious or who seems good or what seems authentic. You know, safety is the key. Okay. Because there are other horror stories out there of men and women, young and old, being taken advantage of, being forced into something. Okay, this is a little bit different than the Tates, but we all know that the horrors are still out there, that there is still this madness that we see. And social media is the perfect kind of trap in which you see something being perceived, but it's not true at all. I want all of you to be careful out there. Now, I want to pull up another video here where Kim Iverson is actually interviewing somebody. It's only a minute long, where Andrew Tate is actually suing somebody else. So again, this is from the Kim Iverson show. One person does speak out, and I look, this is going to be a huge case too. The Tates clearly have their supporters and yes, their haters, but we haven't reached the end of this. You know, I think the great prophet of our time, Cat Williams, once said this:
all lies will be exposed.
And I think everything is going to be more exposed. I see a great crumbling happening. Social media falling apart. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Nick. Thank you so much for even introducing me to that interview. That was such an eye-opening interview. I actually watched it again last night. Still relevant and still has power even in this day and age.
Andrew Tate is suing Nathan Livingston for defamation.
The premise of the lawsuit is that we all work together as a conspiracy to defame them, which is absolutely absurd. There's a joke name that some people throw around called Team Matrix, but there is no Team Matrix. There is no conspiracy. One of the examples is me calling them vile scumbags, me simply quoting the Romanian prosecutor. It's been shocking to see how effective they've deployed this lawfare. You have these countless hours of them admitting to these techniques of human trafficking that's also backed up with all this evidence within the Romanian indictment. You have witness statements, you have the victim statements. There's so much there to back up what they've admitted to on camera. There's very few cases where you have someone who's criminally charged who has so much public footage of them admitting to the crimes that they're charged with. People think they're geniuses. They're also just complete morons.
Nobody's perfect, but look, these are huge charges that the Tate brothers will be facing off against. And, you know, I don't envy anyone going through something, especially in not one, but two different countries altogether. But ignoring the Tate brothers for a second, just remember that there are countless other organizations and people who are trafficking women, men, and children. And it has to stop. And the thing is, the all-consuming machine of the internet, the World Wide Web, there are evil people out there that are more than happy to be willing customers or either that participate in it. The bigger story isn't will the Tates be found guilty or innocent. It's more of, can we stop this online barbarity, this barbarism? Can we stop people from being hurt? We know it's out there. And it's always, always trying to stay a step ahead. There's a favorite line that I have from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Evil must be opposed.